What up guys, welcome back to the channel, man. Today we're going to be continuing with trying to do this color change on the Blazer. There's a lot of little things that are left that we haven't finished, like seat belts, and this rear seat is one of the biggest items that's going to be an eyesore if we just put it back in there like this. I have decided I'm going to move forward with spray paint. This right here is a spot that I did as a test earlier today, so it's been about 3 hours or so. It's dried, it doesn't flake. And while, yes, after it dries, it is kind of hard, but as soon as you kind of break it up, it is just as soft right here as it is up here where we didn't spray paint. So I think it works pretty well. I have reasons for not wanting to use that RIT dye on the seat and on the seat belt, in which I'll get into that later. Also just got the sun visors sprayed. So this one I just painted, so it's still wet. Oh, actually, I just went over this one for a second time as well. So I put a first coat on this one hours ago just to see how it would take, and just like the carpet, it took very well. The seatbelt also is taking pretty well. I sprayed this earlier, and again, like you can bend it and scrunch it up, and it just, the paint doesn't crack or do anything weird that you would be worried about. So for wood, metal, plastic, and more, so definitely using it for the and more. Alcohol is my favorite thing to clean shit with. Yeah, I just want to go around the edge and around these areas that we're actually going to be painting and get this all cleaned up with some alcohol. I disassembled the seat really quick because I feel like it's going to make it a lot easier to get this done with it all taken apart. Alright, so I'm going to be starting off with the carpeted area on the back side of the seat. I want to get this side out of the way because I feel like this is going to dry pretty quick, and then we can flip it and do the other side. So what I was doing with this test spot is you kind of spray the paint. You want to kind of drench the fabric, and then I was taking a scrub brush and just kind of scrubbing it in to make sure it gets all inside of there. Because you don't want to be like, after you're done, you don't want to like push the fabric left or right and be able to see blue down inside of there still. You want to really work it in. One can down. Shit, I only got 5 of them. I hope I got enough. Alright, fast forward. Plan of trying to get everything done last night so it'd be dry today kind of fell through. But at least now this is actually dry. So now that the paint is dry, I'm just coming back with that same brush and I'm just breaking the fabric up. You know what I'm saying? Because as the paint dries, it has this stuff kind of bulked together. And that's how you'll get like that hard, rough feeling. So just go through and brush it in all the different directions, and it goes right back to being soft like carpet. But also, now that the side is dry, we can go ahead and flip it. So I made sure that whenever we painted the back side that I painted the sides of it as well. So now whenever we paint this side, I can just hit the side again and we won't have any spots where we miss with our paint. Alright, I got the front side of the seat all masked off, ready to spray now. The only area that I'm not sure about how well it's going to take the paint is going to be this cloth area right here. Though I'm sure it couldn't be too much more different than the sun visors. I mean, this is just like a flat cloth, you know what I mean? It took it pretty well. But either way, we're ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and start spraying all the way around this edge. This actually has like that tubing in it. So you can kind of pull the fabric back and get the tape underneath there and like kind of tucked in, which that's what I did. So I'm hoping I don't have any bleed, bro, or the paint gets underneath the tape. Fingers crossed. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and let that kind of tack up a little bit for about 15 minutes, and then I'll do a little bit of a heavier coat. That cloth seems to be doing pretty good. I just don't want to get real heavy on it right away, so you can still see a little bit of blue through it. So like I said, I'm just going to let it sit for a few minutes, then we'll hit it again. Seatbelt time. I'm feeling pretty confident about this because I've already done a section of seatbelt that was actually for the rear seat. I didn't record it, but you kind of have to put that paint on there a little heavy because the seatbelts, it seems like they just keep absorbing and absorbing. So, and again, I've seen in the comments a lot of people saying to use the RIT dye. There's a reason why I don't want to use it. And I will show you guys that here in a little bit. I need to wait for some of the stuff that I've already painted to dry so I can show you the difference between the dried paint and the dye, and the reason why I don't want that stuff on anything that's going to be crossing over my clothing. But anyhow, I'm gonna go ahead and start off with just kind of getting a coat on this, relatively thin. You know, you just want to kind of spray the whole thing. We have a plastic section down here we're spraying as well. But yeah, I want to do kind of a thin coat and let that set up and see how well it's covering the seatbelt. And then come back and do a second coat, and then I'm sure it should be completely covered by then. So I got 2 coats on this, and it's had some time to dry now. So as you can see, good and dry, bro. It's actually kind of surprising to me, like, how good this is working. I mean, the seatbelts literally look brand freaking new. They're all blacked out. It doesn't have a weird feeling to it. Of course, it's not completely dry yet, but I mean, it's still flexible and soft. And I did see in the comments, somebody was saying something about the interior of my truck's gonna just constantly always smell like paint. If you guys don't know, paint does eventually dry. Well, it cures. So whenever paint dries, it releases a gas into the air, and that's what you smell, is the gas that it's releasing. But whenever paint fully cures, dries, it stops releasing that gas, which stops putting that smell out into the air. So yes, probably for, you know, a couple of weeks or so inside of the Blazer, it's gonna smell like paint, but it's going to eventually go away. Anyhow, this is my current setup for the front seat belts. So I've got this stuff all cleaned up. I wiped this all down with alcohol, and I've already sprayed it with our adhesion promoter. I'm only using an adhesion promoter on the plastic sections. I did on that piece as well. I've got all the buckles all masked off that I don't want to be painted. So this is pretty much ready to go. Damn, bro. That actually came out pretty sick. Like, you can't even tell this thing is spray painted. It came out really freaking nice. Anyhow, the seatbelt, the little seatbelt parts are on the seat, like right here. That part is like bleached white. That's actually sun damaged. This one over here is all screwed up. I left it blue. I am gonna try to find these in the junkyard because there's supposed to be a cover on them, and the cover was all mangled and screwed up. And you see this piece of metal sticking out here? That's not supposed to be like that. That's supposed to go all the way through, and that's what actually holds this straight up like that. Those are just beat, bro. So I am gonna try to find a set of those at the junkyard. It's the reason why I didn't care about painting them, but yeah, the seat came out really nice. Bam! Hell freaking yeah. All right, so I gotta put the sun visors in, and I still need to put these seat belts in. I was trying to let them, since this was the last thing I painted, I was trying to let them dry for as long as I can. They seem pretty good. Alright, we have dyed the carpet black. We have replaced the headliner with new fabric. Headliner still isn't done. I still need to do something about this up here. We've completely painted all the plastics inside of the truck. Blacked out the rear seat. Got the seat belts done. Seat belts for the front are also done. That's another thing that's really dope about this truck is these seat belts, the buckle, it doesn't attach to the seat. It actually bolts to the ground right here in the front. So that's actually going to make it a lot easier to put a different set of seats in there because we don't have to worry about a seat belt bracket. You know what I'm saying? And here are those Subaru seats I keep talking about. I've had these out on the channel before. We actually, when I first got them, we pressure washed them and cleaned them really good. I let them dry, and then I had them put up. I have the front seats and I have the back seat. They've all been inside of that white truck out there in the corner, just sitting out there for whenever I decide to put them inside of something. And I honestly think that the Blazer is gonna be perfect, dude, because Braven and I already sat them in there and they look mint in there. But I do need to figure out whether I'm going to alter the bracket that's on them to make them fit, or if it's going to be easier to go ahead and rob the brackets off the original seats and go from there. I'm not sure yet. We're gonna figure that out. But anyhow, really quick, while I'm thinking about it, and I have a white rag right here, I want to show you guys the reason why I didn't want to use the RIT dye and I went with using spray paint instead. All right, so the back of this seat is carpet and we spray painted this black. The actual carpet of the truck, we used the RIT dye and we dyed this black. For one, the back of the seat is a lot blacker and like you can still see some blue and stuff in some areas on this, and I used 10 bottles of dye on this damn carpet. Now I have a nice bright white rag right here. I'm gonna take my finger and I'm gonna rub the carpet. Do you see how it's turning it black? So that's the area where I just rubbed the carpet. Now I'm gonna do the exact same thing, get a new spot, and I'm gonna do it on the area that we spray painted. Bam. As you can see, the spray paint isn't, I mean, there's a little bit of darkness there, but the spray paint isn't rubbing off onto the rag the way that damn dye is, man. So that's the reason why I didn't want to use the RIT dye on the seat or on the seat belts, because, I mean, let's say you're wearing a white shirt, bro, and you put that seat belt across you and it's rubbing and leaves a blood, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to have to deal with that. So I said screw it, and I used spray paint, and I think it came out pretty damn good. I plan on having this truck for quite some time, so I'll give you guys an update, you know, in like 6 months or, you know, a year or whatever, and let you know how it is that it's holding up, especially on like these vinyl areas and stuff. I'll keep you guys updated. You already know. So anyhow, let's try to figure these seats out. That did not work. Oh, found the hidden bolt. So you see, this is a good example of an easy seat bracket. We unbolted this from the stock S10 seat. If you look at the mounting points that goes into the seat, these 4 holes right here, they're all pointing straight up. So basically, just like the bottom of the seat needs to be a flat mounting surface that you can put a bolt or something into. Coming over to the Subaru seats, this is a very good example of a not easy seat bracket, bro. Oh my god, look at this. So over here it looks like, so that bolts straight down. I think back here it might, but it's probably underneath the track. But if you look over here on this side, it bolts in sideways like this, okay? But then also the seat bracket itself is all one piece with the hinge mechanism that actually controls the back of the seat. So without this right here, there's nothing holding the back of the seat to the bottom of the seat. And that's all one piece that comes up with the seat bracket. From what it looks like, I mean, we could probably like cut, and yeah, I don't know. This is definitely an example of one that is not simple. I wanted to bolt the S10 bracket in there just to get a look at what it is we're dealing with as far as if we're trying to use this bracket. I think I'm gonna go ahead and take it out now and then set the Subaru seat in here exactly the way it is and see how close it is to any of the mounting points. Who knows, maybe we might be able to just keep this slider, keep this bracket on here, and maybe just bend it or add a little tab here or there, because for the most part it looks like this we could bend to be straight. That is already pointing straight down. This is partially down, you can kind of bend it as well. The only place that looks like it's going to get a little interesting is this one right here. All right, so nothing comes even remotely close on this truck. The seat brackets on the Subaru seats are just like way too wide for the mounting points that are actually on the Blazer. So we're definitely gonna have to get like crazy custom in order to get these seats in here. Well, not like crazy. We're gonna have to cut and weld some shit, that's for sure. Ow! Can you give me a new wheel? I'm trying to reach it with this little thing. That's what she said, I know. Oh yes, it's very nice. It's very nice indeed, and I hope I don't drink another beef.